God, he's coming back. Get out of here.
Many games these days will release multiple DLCs. Some DLC should have been included into the game at launch. However, there are certain developers that release a game with plenty of depth, and to build onto that depth, they release typically well-received DLC in the future. A racing game may not particularly have a lot of depth when it comes to a story. However, the focus of depth is within the customization. As I have emphasized before in my other videos, Forza lets players customize their vehicles to fine detail. To add to a well-received racing game, the developers would add an expansion to tracks, cars, liveries, so on and so forth. This update to the Forza Horizon 3 game is one of a kind. However, how can something be one of a kind if we have seen stuff like this in other games before? I'll get to that shortly. This is Beelzebub's Fun's channel. You can listen to creepypastas I write and narrate myself and watch gameplay videos like this one here. In this video we are going to be looking at the new Hot Wheels expansion that is available for Forza Horizon 3. I have really been enjoying this expansion so far. The sheer excitement of the music in Forza Horizon 3 and the beautiful look and feel of the game overall has been a reason why I keep coming back to the Forza Horizon series, and I will continue to buy each one, just as long as though it retains its replayability through solid gameplay. I have been living my childhood dreams by actually controlling a car on a Hot Wheels track and at the same time customizing all of my cars to fit the atmosphere of the expansion itself. Not only have I made cosmetic changes to my vehicles, I have upgraded some of my vehicles, and I have enjoyed the few new Hot Wheel cars that have been included into the expansion. However, will there be more Hot Wheels cars released in the future to us? I sure hope so. For those of you who are experienced with playing Forza Horizon 3, you'll find immediately that as your vehicle zooms by and tackles long stretched out turns, loop-de-loops, and narrow lanes, you will find that your vehicle has a bit less traction and handling as it races through the Hot Wheels tracks. In comparison to the Forza Horizon 3 Australian world, the traction your vehicle retained as you're on the pavement would contrast with the muddy dirt roads you will find yourself in. A little bit of rain would dampen the road, so you understood that there would be less traction, and in some cases you would hydroplane. As for the Hot Wheels tracks here in this expansion, they are slick. Just a little bit. You will find you'll have to alter your habits when it comes to using the e-brake, perhaps not using it as much in certain cases. When it is clear and sunny, unlike this segment here, the Hot Wheels tracks are still slick, and you do have to take that into account, which this does promote a bit of a learning curve in an expansion of an already solidified game engine. An expansion that looks and seems as though it would invoke an arcade feel to a game, it's actually been altered slightly, and inherently this brings about a challenge to be mastered and a skill to vary among the content of the game itself. From the Blizzard Mountain expansion back in last winter, to the Hot Wheels tracks, to the Fallout 3 world, the Far Cry 3 world, the Forza Horizon 3 world, too many great games that start in the letter F. These expansions so far have given the Forza Horizon fans a challenge and great additional content to an already fantastic game.
Fusion Frenzy!
Successfully landing various jumps can be a little bit tricky at first, especially when it's raining out. Being sent through the turbo mechanism right before a jump sounds as though it would be promising, as you'll probably land on the track on the other side of the jump. However, this is not always the case. In fact, if you go too far to the right or to the left of the turbo mechanism, I'm sure there's a specific Hot Wheels name for that thing, but when you go through the left or the right side of the turbo booster thingamabobber, you may in fact land outside of the track and drown. This would be very unfortunate, so instead try aiming for the center of the turbo booster thingamajiggy. You may go through a jump on your own with no problem, but when it is 3 wide against first place thirsty drivers, this is where the demise of a driver might be met. You don't want to be that guy that cheaply runs people off the track, but it will happen. However, the Forza Horizon 3 developers did well to ensure that there are these little barriers that prevents cars from being pushed off the track by those cheap racers. So instead, if you are one of those type of drivers who likes to run people off the track, you may have to change up your game plan a little bit. As you can see here, there are many well-known vehicles that have been severely altered for the Hot Wheels tracks. This Mustang is fast, so time challenges are seen throughout the Hot Wheels expansion, as well as the bucket list vehicles that we've seen in the Forza Horizon series before. The challenges are fun, and if you've been a fan of the Forza Horizon series, oh my god, a dinosaur! Sorry, ADD. You will know that Forza Horizon 3 in particular overwhelms you with new activities as you pass a certain number. But this is quite a cool thing. It's rather easy locating the various activities you need to do throughout the Hot Wheels map, and the map is broken down into various sections with easy to identify landmarkings, from the city skyscrapers to the Jurassic Forest. Ah, you hear that? Redlining a vehicle. It's never fun when you run out of gears. That's why you will be quick to find that one of the best ways to really enjoy the Hot Wheels tracks is to upgrade or select vehicles from an A class to an S1 or X class. It is very understanding that many people who enjoy the Forza Motorsport series, different from the Forza Horizon series, many fans including myself actually enjoy racing cars that are not very fast at all, or just standard cars. It's fun to push out as much as you can from a normal car and understanding how important gear changes are. Yet, this is Forza Horizon, so you will have to ensure your vehicle is fast enough if you really want to enjoy the Hot Wheels tracks to their full potential. What better way to relive a childhood dream than to race cars on Hot Wheels tracks incorporated with dinosaurs?
That's old. That's ancient.
Thank you, Steve Irwin. Of course, the game plays this off as animatronics, something that should have been used in the Jurassic World movie. Come on, directors, using CGI for everything? Alright, well, that's another story. Look into my eyes. Is that you, John Wayne? Is this me?
We spared no expense.
To get down to the nitty-gritty, does this expansion add anything other than just crazy roads with a Hot Wheels skin overlay? To determine what I think is fun, and worth my while, I will always be coming back to this part of the world in Forza Horizon 3. Much like with Blizzard Mountain. If you would ask me what's one thing that you would like to see improved is this right here. Whenever you are going on the Hot Wheels track, sometimes it comes down to where there's not even really 2 lanes to drive, and you don't see around the corner so easily to where you just run into other players, so maybe toning down the traffic a little bit might be a little bit better. Other than that, that's really the only thing I've seen so far, nothing game breaking. So I can see myself hanging out at the Hot Wheels location quite frequently. However, the Forza Horizon 3 Australian world is so much fun. I will continue to go back to the original location of the game. While I will still have the Hot Wheels expansion in mind and go to that location whenever I please, what I am seeing is that Forza Horizon 3, when compared to its predecessor, which, what do you know, is Forza Horizon 2, I see that Forza Horizon 3's ambition is on literally a much larger scale than what we have seen before in the Forza Horizon series. Therefore, I know that this update is worth it for me. It's a fresh feel for the upcoming summer of 2017. There's new vehicles, new liveries. It's all a lot of fun, and that is what you should expect from a video game. I do believe that this expansion was a little bit risky at first, of course if it wasn't done correctly, but having a Hot Wheels track basically in the sky most of the time, and they do ground it in a few locations, it can be a little bit of a risk going into it. You might dismiss a lot of fans from your game if it's just not fun to play. But this is obviously great to play and an awesome, unexpected release. But at the same time, we have seen something like this before. And I know you guys know what I'm about to say because I know what other people have been saying. Oh, well, this looks a lot like something that GTA 5 came up with, huh? To give credit where it's due, Grand Theft Auto 5 is one of the best games that has been released on the current gen platforms, as well as when it was released on the last gen consoles back in 2013. The support that Grand Theft Auto has been given by its developers over the past 4 years is something we believe should set the bar of what other developers should work towards. Support your game and make free content available every so often to ensure your fan base doesn't completely drop. It will fluctuate, however. In regards to the Forza Horizon series and the Grand Theft Auto series, there is something that must be identified. Forza Horizon fits within the racing genre, and the developers and publishers want this to be the go-to game for racing. Grand Theft Auto is amazing in its own way to include death matches, death races, heists, police chases, street racing mixed with sky racing tracks, an adventurous, in-depth story with more emphasis on being an antagonist and solidifying land vehicle controls as well as air and sea. But with as much support it has been given with free content and updates, we haven't seen content that expanded into the lives of other characters within Los Santos in Grand Theft Auto 5. In Grand Theft Auto 4, however, they expanded the story, which many preferred over the original Grand Theft Auto 4 story, with the Ballad of Gay Tony and the Lost and the Damned. What I'm getting at is with all of these updates in Grand Theft Auto 5, wouldn't it be awesome if we actually saw these buildings actually be built? The game's been out since 2013, and now that it's been almost 4 years, it would be cool to actually see the buildings and the city of Los Santos progress, perhaps even having heists or other storylines that pertain to those buildings that are new, or even all the other buildings that are throughout Los Santos. We see it's such a big area from hotels and all these stores and whatnot. It's hard to believe that the only thing that they're doing in these updates are mini games or like extra tracks in the sky. But in regards to Forza Horizon 3, it's just a racing game with not much of a story at all. You're just the leader of a big extravaganza and you race cars around. Yet they're doing what GTA has done because they see it's a trend and it's something that a lot of people like. And now looking at it in that perspective, it's obvious why they would go that route of creating tracks in the sky and playing it off as Hot Wheels. It works, and it's a lot of fun. They knew that they could do it. And another thing that Grand Theft Auto 5 and Forza Horizon 3 have in common is they have great replayability. So I hope I shed some light on you guys that are still on the fence whether or not if you want to purchase the Hot Wheels expansion for Forza Horizon 3. If I were to sum it up in a few words,
Fast cars, fast beats, and dinosaurs.
So thank you very much for watching. If you like this video, go ahead and leave a like and subscribe to Beelzebub's Buns channel where I do creepypastas and gameplay videos. And my gamer tag, if you want to play with me out there on Forza Horizon or any other kind of games, is Go ahead and look at how it's spelled. Thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next video.